Alrighty, Questers, welcome back to another quest. This time we are going over everything HHN.
Today we're going to go over all the most common questions that you guys do have about HHN, all for beginners or even veterans if you do have any questions that have not been answered yet. And we're going to go through and show you a couple of the fun little bits that we already have a month before season starts.
Yeah, we are now at a point where pretty much everything has been announced, all the houses, all the scare zones, all the shows. And so this is going to be a little bit generic, but also a little bit focused specifically for HHN 34.
Yeah.
So come join us on this spooky quest.
Content warning. Please be advised that some of the following clips may contain gore, blood, vomit, and other things that may be very disturbing for some individuals. Please be advised that if you are uncomfortable with things like that, do not watch this video at this point.
So what exactly is Halloween Horror Nights, or HHN, as you will commonly hear it called throughout this video and throughout the parks as well? Well, it's Universal Studios' premier Halloween event of the season, both here in Florida and in, well, also California and Tokyo. I want to say Singapore too. Basically, any Universal Studios park, they will have Halloween Horror Nights in some fashion. It started all the way back in 1991 as Halloween Fright Nights, only running for 3 nights, but it has exploded and grown over the decades to become, well, the premier Halloween event in Florida. This year's event, HHN 34, will be running from August 29th to November 2nd. Pretty much every single night. It doesn't run most Mondays and Tuesdays. In fact, there's only one Tuesday this season it's running. The rest of it will be that Wednesday through Sunday timeline. They will feature 10 haunted houses and 5 scare zones and a great many things that we are all going to cover in this video here. So let's talk about tickets to HHN, because it is a after-hours event like MNSSP over in Magic Kingdom, or Very Merry also in Magic Kingdom, which means you do need a separate ticket. Your theme park day ticket will not get you in, and this also includes most pass holders. If you do have a premier annual pass to Universal Studios Florida, you will get 1 night that you can include with HHN. Basically, every single year they pick certain dates that you go on, and you can apply online, and then basically you just pick one of the nights, and then you're free to go. But if you're not a premier pass holder, just a regular one or just a normal day guest, you will have to buy tickets. There are several options you can go through. There are single night tickets that range in prices that will pop up here. And then there are passes you can get that cover a variety of dates that we'll go over later. Basically anything from like just Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday nights, all the way to every single night of the event. And that one does get you free parking after 5 p.m. There are a couple other little add-ons that you can get, such as tours and express passes that we'll cover later on in the video. But just for your knowledge going into it, this is a hard separate ticketed event.
What exactly is a Halloween Horror Nights house? They also may be referred to as mazes. They are basically just hallways that are put through sound stages that have a bunch of decorations and massive sets based on a concept. A lot of times it's an intellectual property, things like Stranger Things, Scream, Five Nights at Freddy's, that's this year, or also original content as well, which is made up by the content creators of Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights team. You will go through them and experience these concepts. You'll see awesome, epic sets and scare actors as well, where you will be scared. And then following up on that, what is a scare zone? So Halloween Horror Nights does offer scare zones as well during their event. Those are gonna be little areas, typically kind of strips of pavement, that are gonna offer those giant sets that you may see in a house, but they're gonna be outside, so you don't have to necessarily wait in line for them. They're gonna have a bunch of scare actors as well, so you can get scared, see some cool sets, but you just don't have to wait in line for the house, and they're gonna be a lot shorter, a lot smaller. Scare zones are there to help you be entertained from getting from house to house and, of course, help the overall atmosphere of horror.
One of the most commonly asked questions for Halloween Horror Nights is, what is an icon? An icon for Halloween Horror Nights is a person or thing that the general theming of Halloween Horror Nights is based around. They typically will also host the event a lot of times during the opening ceremonies, which is a entertainment piece that is offered right when the event opens at 6 or 6:30, depending on what year you're going. Not every year hosts an icon. Some years there is just one, some years there are multiple, some years there's none at all, some years it's just a general theme. There's not always going to be one icon every single year. Typically, in the past, it was only on anniversary years or specialty years like 6 and things like that. But as of recently, they've had more and more ideas, so we've been getting more and more icons.
One thing I do want to talk about is how scary HHN can be. It does really range, to be completely honest with you, depending on houses or scare zones. A lot of the scare zones you can actually kind of avoid being scared if you do walk on the sidewalks. You can't guarantee that, but it is normally recommended. There isn't anything they'll give you if you don't want to be scared. If you do not want to be scared, do not come to this event. It is not recommended. But if you don't want to walk through scare zones or be scared in the scare zones, you can typically avoid those. Houses, not so much.
You avoid being scared by not going in.
Exactly. You avoid being scared by not going into the houses, and the houses are going to range. Last year, we had the scariest house that I've ever been in, Insidious, which was pants terrifying. Or you can have things like one year we had Beetlejuice, which really wasn't that scary. It was just really fun and cool. So it really does depend, but again, that is going to be based on you. That is going to be based on your level of being scared on things. If you like horror movies, you're probably going to be fine. If you don't, probably not going to be fine.
Alrighty, so now that we've talked about how scary the houses are and the scare zones are, let's talk about how to get you into the houses. There are going to be 10 houses this year, ranging from 5 originals like Dolls, Let's Play Dead, and Hatchet and Chains, The Demon Bounty Hunters, to things like WWE, Five Nights at Freddy's, Jason Universe, and Fallout. There's a couple others in there I forgot to mention. But a lot of the house entrances are actually going to be up here in the New York section of the park. There's going to be one that you enter in typically over by Minions, and then about 4 back here with entrances, usually in front of the stage, Jimmy Fallon, and then over by that little alley that Rip Ride used to, or still does, pop out of, depending on when you're watching this video. The rest of them are going to be back towards the back of the park, usually with entrances over by Simpsons, Men in Black, and then between Men in Black and the Nightmare Fuel stage, there's actually entrances for the 2 new sprung tents that they built. So keep an eye out for them. They'll have trusses that look like the ones we're picturing all throughout me talking, that have the house and the wait times and a bunch of warnings. All right, so one area I did want to talk about in its own little special section is of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter behind me, Diagon Alley. It pretty much isn't a part of HHN for a lot of things. It is fully open though. So you can ride Gringotts, you can eat ice cream, you can go get butterbeer, you can go visit all the shops, and one of the great parts about it is nearly empty. There's pretty much nobody inside of it, so if you've come at any point during the day or during the summer, you know how crowded it can get, but if you come during HHN, it's pretty empty. For the most part, they did add one thing a couple of years ago, which is the Death Eaters. They used to have this over in HHN in California. They finally added it here during HHN 32, math. And it's really just fun. It's like its own little Harry Potter scare zone. So all throughout Diagon Alley, they will have Death Eaters walk around. They'll do a whole little show type deal. We'll be putting footage in spurts everywhere. So they just do this intermittently throughout the night. So if you feel like you need a break from the loudness and the craziness and you like Harry Potter, then come inside, get a butterbeer, and come watch the Death Eaters. It's a lot of fun. So I want to take a moment to talk about entertainment in the Halloween Horror Nights world, community, zone. I don't know. But during Halloween Horror Nights, there's a couple entertainment options. Number one I want to get out of the way real quick is some of the rides are open. So these are things like Transformers, Mummy, Gringotts, Men in Black. These are also Express Pass eligible if you buy the Express Pass for the evening for HHN, or if you have it with your Premier Pass, you are able to use them during the event. It is that same though, 1 per ride during the day kind of portion. But behind me, we are at the Lagoon Space. Usually this hosts Cinesational. For HHN, it will be hosting Hauntofonics. And while we don't know exactly what time or how to line up or anything like that, it's been a few years since the Lagoon Show has been around. We are going to post the times right here of when the last Lagoon Show hosted its times during the evening. It could be a one per night thing, so be warned about that. Generally, we're going to give it the warning of showing up an hour to 45 minutes beforehand, just to make sure you get a good spot and can see it. Especially if you're somebody that comes multiple times a night, I would really make sure to, multiple times during the season, I would make sure to give it a chance and come and see it. And then we're going to cut to another location so Ellie can talk about her favorite entertainment offering.
So one of the forms of entertainment that they do offer is a show. It is a nighttime show that they do, stage show, acrobatics, that kind of thing. Kind of think like maybe like Las Vegas kind of situation. They're gonna have fire, flashing lights. They're gonna have, as they like to say, lewd entertainment. It is a very, pardon my French, sexy show. There are going to be men and women in leather. There's going to be lots of fire and lots of that kind of thing. It is going to run at these times, well, that we know of. This is times from last year. And you're going to want to line up about 45 minutes to almost an hour before one of the posted times. Mainly because it is very, very popular. It's called Nightmare Fuel. This year it is called Circus of Decay, I believe. Or if I'm wrong, it'll be right here.
So as someone who just kind of like casually cares about Nightmare Fuel, do you want to tell us what you love about it most?
What I love about it most is the music, and it's cool, and there's fire, and it goes woo, and there's lots of very hot people.
Yeah, what is your favorite song that they play during Nightmare Fuel?
When I was a young boy, my father turned me, and that's all I'm gonna say because I don't want to get copyrighted. So one of the things that they do for entertainment in the entertainment is to hype you up before the show. They will play a very fun song called Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance. They do I think it's the 10th anniversary. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
10th anniversary remix edition. And they will play that before to get you really hyped up. And Jacob and I will play it in the car if we need to be hyped up. And it's great.
I actually have gotten mad at her one time because she called me in the middle of the beat dropping.
I did. It's awesome. Listen to it. If you're not coming, you don't care or any of that, just listen to the song. Just trust me, if you haven't already.
All right, so we're gonna take a little bit of a break here in the entertainment section. I know we just talked about Nightmare Fuel and the Lagoon Show and some of the rides and stuff like that, but I did want to take a moment to talk about this area specifically behind me. On the entertainment section, we do have the HHN Party Zone listed. We believe this is gonna be here. We're not 100% certain, so we might be wrong and I get egg on my face, but I just wanted to warn you just in case. This is right outside the exit to Fast and Furious Supercharge, which is an exit for one of the houses. So if you're someone that gets very sensory overloaded by like loud music and lights and stuff, just try to kind of quickly cut across here, probably hit the sidewalks and stuff like that, because just based off the look of it and things we know from past experiences, there's gonna be a lot of loud music, a lot of loud lights, a lot of people congregated right here. They had Horrors of Blumhouse Scare Zone here last year, and it was pretty jarring when you come out of a house that's already a sensory overload experience and you're coming into even more sensory overload, so just be warned about it. But if you're someone that likes loud music and dancing and all of it, please come check this out because it's gonna be a ton of fun.
So last couple of things that I do want to mention is for scare zones and houses, these scare actors are not allowed to touch you. They cannot touch you. They are also trained to notice if you are struggling at all. So if you are struggling, they will probably back off from you. But they were also, in that same breath, if you do look a little bit more scared in not a panic way, they will go after you a little bit more for scares. But they, again, are not allowed to touch you. You are also not allowed to touch them. I do want to talk about a couple of rules and etiquette things. So a couple of rules for HHN, no costumes. You can dress up nice, wear your your t-shirts. I do fun costumes.
Park bounding.
Park bounding, thank you. Do more park bounding. I have like a cute little Chucky ensemble that they actually sold a couple years ago. A Beetlejuice, Freddy, that kind of thing. So you can park bound, but you cannot dress up. No masks, nothing like that. Kind of the same rules as Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So do try to keep that a little bit family friendly in that sense. Another thing is Universal, if you are coming after 5 o'clock, they are going to ask you when you get to security to dump any liquids you have out. You can bring your bottle in, so if you have a water bottle, a personal bottle, a freestyle cup, they are going to allow that in, but you will have to empty it, ice and all. You are not allowed to have that. If you come anytime before that and you bring it, you can. So I do want to talk about etiquette, of course. I did mention, do not touch the scare actors. Do not provoke them. Do not get in their faces. Do not get near them unless they come near you. They're still people. They are actors. That is all that they are. They are paid to be here. They are paid to scare us and have fun. That is it. Do not harass them. Do not yell at them. That's just gonna make people mad and you're probably gonna get kicked out. Another etiquette, probably wouldn't bring your children for a multitude of reasons. I get some kids are horror fans, that's totally fine. If they are and they wanna be there, if they're excited about it, totally understand. Teach them etiquette and make sure that they understand the rules and environment that they're going to be in. Along with the accessibility, I do want to mention that the houses are very small. They are typically about shoulder length, if not a little bit more. There's going to be some rooms that are bigger. There's going to, of course, be your hidey holes where your scare actors are in, but they are going to be very, very difficult to move through, especially if you have a stroller or a wheelchair. So if you are wheelchair bound or have to be in it for any prolonged amount of time, you may struggle with that. Especially in lines as well. The line queues are all outdoors and they're all standing and they are also very small. So you are also going to struggle in that capacity as well. If you are able to get out of your wheelchair for prolonged times, you may be okay, but just keep that in mind.
So now that we are done with pretty much all the rules and regulations and restrictions we got to go over for HHN, I did want to take a minute to talk about ticketing options. You're going to see me reading out my phone a lot, just to give you a little bit of a breakdown of what things truly cost. So, single night tickets start out at $82.99 per person. They run for pretty much every single night and they appear to peak around $123 towards the later part of the season. So if you're coming towards the end of October, early September, you're gonna have the cheapest. Halloween night's always gonna be your most expensive. If you are someone that is interested in getting a pass, there are several options that you can go with. So, one of them is the Rush of Fear Pass. This pass is gonna get you pretty much most of your Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday dates through the months of August and September. We're gonna have all the dates pop up here, and that one's gonna run you $199.99. The Frequent Fear Pass is what you're gonna upgrade to. It's gonna get you pretty much every Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday throughout the season. So August, September, October, and those last few tail end days of November. So that one's gonna run you to $49.99, and keep in mind with these passes, they do just get you into the event. There's nothing extra with it, like skip the lines or anything like that, but you can upgrade all of them to include Express Pass. It does tend to about triple the price of them though. So weigh those options when you look at buying them. The Frequent Fear Plus Pass, that's the one that me and Ellie go with. It gets you pretty much every single date but Saturdays, and that one's gonna run you $299.99. But every single Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday during the event is covered. And then with all of these three passes that I mentioned, for the most part, will get you, especially the Frequent Fears, will get you the opening weekend and closing weekend dates. Actually, Frequent Fear Pass, now I'm looking at it, will not get you Halloween, but Frequent Fear Pass Plus will get you opening weekend and closing weekend. So if you're someone like us that wants to come specifically during those weekends, you're more than welcome to. The last pass I want to mention is the Ultimate Frequent Fear Pass. This gets you every single night of the event, self-parking after 5 p.m., and can also be upgraded to include Express Pass. This one's gonna be your most expensive, running you $419.99. There are also a couple options if you're out of town and are coming for one night that you can look at. So the first option I'm going to talk about is Express Pass as I pull it up. So Express Pass base pay is $169.99, and you do still have to get your ticket into the event. It is going to cost you $169.99 up to, scrolling through, about $260 to go through every single house once, including the rides too, but pretty much every single house and the rides just once. It's not going to get you through multiple times. You're not going to be able to blitz out the ones you want over and over again. So keep that in mind. So there is also another option, just like the Premier Pass has Express after 4 p.m. that Universal sells during the day to day guests. You can also get Express after 11 p.m. So for the 11 to midnight and then midnight to 1 and 1 to 2. The last 3 hours of the event, you can use the Express Pass, and it'll basically get you through however many houses you can get to. That one typically runs about $100 according to last year's prices. We don't know because it's on a night by night basis, just based on how many Express Passes they sold out. Another thing you can add onto your ticket is your Scream Early. This gets you into the park at a specific time, 3 p.m., and then basically you can stay through till HHN. It is an add-on again to your single night ticket, and it starts out, it's actually $55 the entire event. It doesn't change prices at all. So basically you'll come in, you'll check in, at a certain point you'll get a wristband, and that's when you can do Stay and Scream, which this is something that's included for people that get the Scream Early Pass, Scream Early add-on, and have annual passes. This basically allows you to stay in the park from that time when they close the park at 6 o'clock and they open the park at 6:30. You'll get a wristband and you'll basically be sent into designated Stay and Scream zones. But another thing that might be changing this year, we don't know for sure, is that there won't be Stay and Scream zones. Instead, you'll get your wristband, and basically whenever the house is open, earliest one's opening around 5 to 5:15, you'll be able to get in line for them. So this is definitely something, if you're only coming for one night, don't want to spend the money on Express Pass, we highly suggest adding it on so you can get a drop on the houses before anyone else. Alrighty, I hope you guys have enjoyed learning all about Halloween Horror Nights with us. Please look forward to a lot of HHN content. It's one of me and Ellie's favorite times of the season. We come a lot. So we get passes even before becoming content creators. We got a lot of passes and it came a lot. And so we're gonna try to do that pretty much again this year. So if you have any videos, any comments, questions, please comment on this video, on our social media pages, on our Patreon. Any of those places, we're more than happy to reach out and let you know our answers for it. And if it's something we're gonna cover in a video, we might just leave a little teaser in there for you.
We also do have a Patreon, of course, so you can follow us there and have more behind the scenes content. I've been talking a lot today. You'll be able to see more behind the scenes content and get readies with me, special things like that.
But until then, Questers, we'll see you in the fog.
Bye! I do want to also discuss the fact that not just that scare zone is noisy. Everywhere is going to be noisy for Halloween Horror Nights, in the houses, in the scare zones, even outside of the scare zones. There's going to be very loud music blaring. There's going to be chainsaw noises. There's going to be screams. It's a very overwhelming environment. Even for me, I'm a long time. I've been coming to Halloween Horror Nights for almost 6 years now. I love the event, but I do wear earplugs. So if you are someone who does struggle with very loud noises or anything kind of in that nature, I do recommend earplugs. Jacob and I are very big advocates of things called loops. This is not sponsored. They are just great. They're fantastic. You can get ones that switch to different settings. They're fantastic and they really, really help. So definitely do look into something like that if you are interested in coming or do struggle with noises. It is going to be in the houses for sure. I also do want to talk about the lowered light level. The event is at night, so you are going to experience the park in pretty close to complete darkness. There are of course going to be your ambiance lighting, and in the houses it's going to be no lights almost entirely. They're going to have flashing lights everywhere in scare zones, in houses, so you'll be experiencing things like that. So if you do have a sensitivity to lights or things like that, I would recommend either not coming or taking precautions for that if you can in any way. Same thing, of course, with light levels, if any of that does bother you. It also is called Horror Nights. It is a whole event based on horror. If any of that does freak you out or makes you nervous or in any way is triggering, please do not come to this event. It is gonna trigger you. I also do want to talk about the fact that there is going to be increased police presence in the park, not just universal security, but actual police officers with equipment on them. So if that does bother you in any way or make you uncomfortable, also may not be an event for you. They are going to be inside the park, they're going to be outside the park. This event is a heavy drinking event for some people. Nothing wrong with that at all, but if that does make you uncomfortable or bother you, you are going to experience that. You are going to have a lot of people with alcohol around you, and you are going to smell it. It's going to be offered pretty much everywhere. They do cut off alcohol at 1 a.m. The event runs until 2. They will cut it off at 1 a.m. for driving reasons and, of course, security reasons as well. So do keep that in mind. But again, if alcohol does make you uncomfortable, this may not be the event for you.